I raise my hands in the dead of night, asking God for a better life. And I know that He'll be there in the moment. His mercy's not equivalent, magnificent and infinite, the one I'll always turn to when I'm broken. Ya Ilahi, Ya Ilahi, Ya Ilahi, Ya Ilahi.
Assalamu alaikum, dear friends. Thank you for joining me once again. Welcome to the 16th day of Ramadan in the Ilahi Kids program. Tonight's topic is one some of us might struggle with on a regular basis and not even notice it. It is Shaitan's trap. It's none other than jealousy and arrogance. I'm sure you've all heard the term, jealousy can kill. Well, it has. We see how many times that's occurred in history. There are so many stories where a person was so jealous of another person that he killed them or tried to kill them because of their arrogance and jealousy. If one can recall the perfect story of Shaitan's work of these two things, it would be the story of Prophet Yusuf. Allah mentioned the story in Surah Yusuf. Prophet Yusuf was so handsome and his wisdom was beyond his years, even at such a young age. Can you imagine Allah giving half the world's beauty to one person? Well, He did. One day, the young Prophet Yusuf had a beautiful dream. He was so excited to share it with his father, so he ran to his father in excitement and said, "Oh, my father, indeed I have seen 11 stars and the sun and the moon, and I saw them prostrating to me." Yaqub was overjoyed in realization that his dear son was indeed chosen by Allah to be bestowed with prophethood. However, Yaqub was concerned about his older son's possible reaction to this narration, for even though he treated them the same, they harbored jealousy towards Yusuf. With time, his brothers envied Yusuf because they felt he was special and they were not. Unable to handle their emotions, they devised a plan to get rid of Yusuf by throwing him into a well. We all know how the story goes. He gets saved and goes on to do many amazing things in his life. However, here we see that his brother's jealousy is so awful that they literally wanted to kill their own brother. Jealousy is a disease. If it's not controlled, it can really hurt you and those around you. It's important to be thankful for all that Allah has given to you and not allow others' blessings to cloud your vision, because what Allah has for you might be even better. I also want to share a story with you about a girl I used to play basketball with. She was the best player on the team. I mean, this girl made almost every shot she took. She was amazing and she knew it. So one day, a couple of the girls from the junior team that really looked up to her came and asked her for a couple of pointers and if she could help them train. She laughed so hard when they asked her. She told them she was too good for them and she didn't have time to waste on them. This really hurt them. She didn't need to laugh at them. If she truly didn't have the time, she should have said, "Sorry, I don't have time." However, she chose to be arrogant and rude to them. So, a few days passed and it was to a big game where all the scouts were attending. That girl was walking and thinking to herself about how awesome she was and how no one was better than her. She wasn't paying attention and she slipped and she fell. When she fell, she twisted her ankle. Her ankle hurt like crazy and she couldn't walk and sat there in so much pain. A few minutes later, the girls from the junior team were walking by and saw her. Of course they helped her, and it didn't take long to notice how much pain she was in. They knew right away she wouldn't be able to play in that night's game. They felt so bad for her. Even though she was completely arrogant to them the previous week, she felt so small and right away felt bad for treating them badly. He didn't even know why they were helping her. She knew she didn't deserve it, So she asked them why they were helping him to get to the nurse's office. They told her that they would help anyone in need, and she was clearly in need. A few days later, she came to school in a cast. She had damaged her ankle really badly and wasn't sure she could ever play basketball again. She was beyond devastated and she went to and found out the boys from the junior team and apologized to them and asked if they still wanted help. Of course they agreed and promised they would help her with her physical therapy so she may play next year. She was beyond thankful and promised herself she would never allow her arrogance to get in the way again. Let's turn to the Prophet and see what he has to say about this. The most favorable of you and the nearest to me on the day of resurrection will be the most well-mannered and the most modest. The modest of you to me on the day of resurrection will be the big mouth and the proud. So we should always keep ourselves in check. No matter how smart we become, how rich or even beautiful, we should always be thankful to the one who blessed us with those things and stay humble to him. Stay blessed till next time. Fi aman Allah.
Assalamu alaikum, dear friends. Thank you for joining us tonight. Our topic is jealousy. It's a very sensitive topic. I have my friend Asher here, my friend Imran, to discuss the subject and how it affects us. How do you think our relationship, does it hurt our relationship with Allah?
Well, I think it hurts our relationship with Allah because, first of all, like any other sin, whenever we commit it, it makes us, we're basically disobeying Allah's command.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever we disobey Allah's command, it gets us farther from Him, so it worsens our relationship. But also, from a scale of how bad jealousy is, it is extremely bad because jealousy basically makes us hate someone even more for something that is not even bad most of the time. Like, for example, if someone's doing like really well financially and they're getting a lot of money, then like if we get jealous for them, they're not doing anything wrong. They're just like living out their life as they're supposed to. Yet we're still hating them so much for that. And obviously Allah loves all of us and He wants us all to love each other. So when we start hating one another, He doesn't like that relationship.
Mm-hmm. And we might not know the struggles of that person, right? That makes that $1 million a year or whatever, right? We don't know the trouble and all that they have gone through to get to where they are because as we know, nothing comes easy. Anything that's worth it is from really hard work.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you, Asher?
Well, jealousy can hurt us by, like, when we're jealous, we can get like very obsessed and instead of thinking about how to get up to that level without like getting it from them, we think, oh, they have this much, I wish I had that much, and it's like they're like you're not really thinking about how to get it. You're just thinking, oh, this person has what I want. Yeah, and it can.
Yeah, it's very. I have 2 boys, and sometimes they fight over the toys, and they fight over my attention, and it's really hard. It starts, subhanallah, from such a young age. It's a Allah talks about it in the Quran, right? It's a disease, and if you don't control it, and if you don't get it under control, it can eat you up, and it can destroy you, right? Do you guys want to add anything else?
Yeah, I'd like to say that a good way to like basically stop jealousy and to control it if it ever happens to you, hopefully it doesn't though. So basically, instead of looking at someone and saying, oh, they have this or that and I hate them for that, look at them as a goal. Try and get past them and do better than them. And not in like a bad way where like you get really competitive and then you start hating them in that way, but like in a way where you start working hard to be equal to them or even better than them while still being friends with them. Because then in that area, then like while jealousy is where you get mad at them for having something, and when you actually look up to them as a goal, then you can get that something and even more, while also having a steady relationship with them and Allah, and even making yourself better and happier.
Yeah, like, if your friend is an amazing soccer player, and you're like, oh man, I wish I was that good, and you're jealous of that skill that he has, maybe you can ask for those lessons, so that you guys can play equally or even better than him one day, right? So asking for that is a great way as well. I like that. Thank you so much. On that note, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you learned something from tonight's topic. May Allah bless you all and that you never have to feel jealous from anybody. And if you do, remember what our friend Imran said is work on that, work on bettering yourself. So inshallah, you all have an amazing night. Thank you so much for joining us. Jazakumullah khair. Fi amanillah.
I raise my hands in the dead of night, asking God for a better life. And I know that He'll be there in the moment. His mercy's not equivalent, magnificent.